Hey y'all, welcome to Dixie Garage. On this one, I'm going to do something very simple, very straightforward, and just about every square body needs it. If you're going to restore most classic vehicles, but definitely these square bodies, you're going to end up doing cab corners. Usually floorboards, but I don't need them on this one. Rockers, I don't need a full rocker, but I need a little piece of a rocker. I'll show you all that in a minute. But basically, I'm going to show you the right way to do it, because I've found that there's a ridiculous amount of YouTube videos that show you the absolute wrong way to do it, which is how mine were done. And those people don't deserve to own these trucks or to drive any truck, or to even, they shouldn't even be checking tire pressure. Okay, if you do cab corners like this, just go get a bicycle. You don't even deserve anything with an engine in it, all right? But we're gonna do this the right way and cut the old crap out and put new cab corners on. I almost said rockers. Put new cab corners on. Let's get started. Okay, so here's the wrong way to do it. And surprisingly, there's a lot of YouTube videos that tell you that this is how you should do it. For whatever reason, I don't know why anybody thinks this is okay, but yeah, they filled it up with foam. Now, I noticed that this was rotted out when I bought the truck. I did this cut, and that's when I noticed how much foam was in there. So they filled it and just kind of primed over it and kept on going. Here's the little section of a rocker. It's only about a 1/2 inch that I gotta, and the rest of the rocker's good, so I don't have to replace that. So I'm just gonna weld off that and fill that rather than replacing the entire rocker. Floors aren't rotted. That was surprising. So the new rockers, you buy them, they're a huge section. I keep saying rockers, I'm sorry guys. The new cab corners, and it luckily goes up to the exact spot where I made that cut. So that worked out, because I was gonna fix that patch separately. But basically I'll just cut this excess off. I will eventually take the bed off before I prime this thing and paint it and all that. But for now, I'm just gonna fix this, and that way I can finish up the body work before I do primer. So there's gonna be some welding that I can't get to, but I'll get to that when I have the bed off later on, before it gets painted. But yeah, there's that little bitty spot that I'm gonna have to, that's why I say no point in putting a whole nother rocker on there for that little section. I can just take some of this excess from the back. Get that section removed. Ooh, that is a master body man's work right there. Love that. Good job. Got all that worked out. Got this cleaned up the best I can. It's pretty pitted, pretty rusty. Gonna put some Rust-Oleum on there before I do all this. Out here is where you do your spot welds. I'm gonna show you how that's done. I got as much of this foam out as I can. I mean, it's pretty much good. I cut out all the excess rust, and then spots like that, I mean, that really doesn't matter because there's still structure. It's not weak or anything, so I just need to treat that rust so it doesn't continue to spread. And like I say, I'm gonna do the backside when I get the bed off before I paint. So I drew, yeah, would you look at all that foam? I drew a little line there for how far I need to go, and then I'll have this extra to do other patches with throughout the body. But that is about where it needs to be. So I'm gonna, yep, perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint this, let that dry, and cut that little spot there. And as soon as that's dry, I'll go ahead and weld it on. Paint's dry. The cut has been made, and the holes for the spot welds are done. Now, I like to use small holes for the spot welds because that way it's quicker welds, you know what I'm saying? And there's more of them. So I spread those out a little over 1 inch each one, as you see. Edges have been cleaned up, so I'm gonna hold this in place with the self-tap and get to welding. And then, like I say, on this back side, I'll take care of that whenever the truck bed's pulled. I just want to make sure everybody understands that before they go leaving stupid comments on my page about how I left the back open. So yeah, right now, self-tap and spot welds. Then fill that in. All right, so you see how the self-tap is holding it in place. I can make all my welds. And then that's just kind of got to be pushed over a little bit to line up. So for a brief explanation and lesson on how you weld any sheet metal. Okay, welding is welding, right? But then wrong. So you see I started here on a spot weld and I came all the way across to here. And then there. And the next weld will, you know, be another spot weld. And then here. And then there. And the reason you do that is because you don't want it to get too hot. And you end up with a whole lot of body work. A lot of people... It's self-explanatory, right? Like when it gets hot, it warps. But then a lot of people do their body work their metal work the wrong way and end up having to do a lot of body work. So you want to gap it. So the next welds need to be here, there, and just keep kind of like doing the star pattern on lug nuts. How you're trying to distribute everything evenly. It's the same concept. Keep it cold. I'm welding on very, very low heat there. Keep it cold. Space it out, take your time, because if you warp it too much, you're going to end up with a whole lot of body work. So with the cab corner done, welded in place, I don't use regular bondo on it. There's always going to be some little tiny pinholes that you really can't see, but those will be a spot for rust to happen. This fiberglass is meant to fill in any pinholes, any little tiny spots that may allow moisture in there. So I always fill it with this, body work that down, and then I put the bondo over the top of that. So I'm gonna do this and then we're gonna be done. All right. So, in the words of the great Bon Jovi, we're halfway there. Got the spot welds done all the way down. You can see that. That'll just get primed. Nothing special. Once this gets sanded down one time, then it'll get body worked with just regular bondo. I got to do the other side. That's why I say I'm halfway there. And, you know, the back side's pretty quick and easy. It doesn't have to be perfect because the bed really hides everything. Gonna get the bed off hopefully in the next week or so. It just requires having 3 or 4 people here to help me, and I don't really have 3 or 4 people available on a daily basis. So, yeah, it's gonna come off soon, but not soon enough. So, that is how that is done. It is not done by filling shit up with foam and whatever else, wiping it with bondo. Don't do any of that crap, guys. Just don't. If you don't know what you're doing, well, learn. I mean, do it. Welding's not hard. I'm not great at it, but my welds always hold. You know, don't ever fill it up. Don't do that. All right. Anyway, so for the regular subscribers, let's do a Harley Quad update. All right, here we go. Oh, that's not why we're here. All right, there she is, guys. I have the wiring harness and everything. The only thing I think I still need is an oil tank. Yeah, how y'all like that? I already did some damage. I know. I can fix it though. Might even do a video on fixing it. Who knows? Just so everybody knows the proper way to do touch-up. But yeah. Those of y'all who haven't watched any videos on this yet, it is a Harley 1200cc Sportster quad, and it was full custom. There's 2 fabrication videos on it, there's a paint video on it, and there's going to be a completion video on it in the next couple of weeks. That's it. That's all I got. I appreciate y'all watching.